All right. Hello. Let's see. You'll have to excuse me. I have a new setup, which I'm excited about. I actually made my Mac Mini. Oh, can't I look at? Okay, I guess that's fine. Oh, there we are. Yes, I actually changed my Mac Mini. I tried to use OpenClaw there, but I didn't use it. I find it so weird that OpenClaw got so popular, because like it's exciting to be able to talk to an AI through like a messaging app, but yeah, I didn't find myself using it at all. And also the fact that you have to like use an API key and everything. And I wonder like if people were just excited about using messaging apps, which the other agents or AIs are getting now, or what it was. I don't know. Anyways, so a lot of the stuff that the reason I built this project is because I have this pendulum with AI. I get very, very excited about what AI is capable of. And being like a product engineer, or at least I reference myself as a product engineer, I really care about creating value for people more than writing code. So from one perspective, I've always seen code as a means to an end of creating product value. But what I come to learn with AI is that I really love coding, solving programming problems, not just solving user problems, but actually solving technical problems and architecting solutions and all of this. This is what makes this job so fun to me. And then for other people, I think like other product domains like design and marketing and all of this, there's like two sides to it. It's the creation of the end user interface, the actual experience of the product, and then it's the problem space within the domain. And what I feel like with AI is that we're giving up the domain specific knowledge needed, the specific process of like coding and problem solving and like everything that makes like at least half of the job a lot of fun. We're completely giving up to agents. And I don't like that. And maybe this is inevitable. Maybe I'm just trying to reach kind of being an old person. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I'm still like the pendulum is swinging back and forward, and this is more like swinging back. So how can we like take advantage of all this powerful AI stuff, but don't like work on projects from a project level? Like if you think about a CLI, it's like you go to the root workspace, you fire up a CLI, and you just start hammering AI about different things. And yeah, and if you do that, then you give up all your decision making. You're kind of basically moving away from the decision making. You're moving away from owning the output. It's soon you won't even know what code is in there and how the thing actually works, how it's architected, or anything like that. Because I can't be a reviewer. I can't replace that part of my job just reviewing a bunch of code. I don't like reviewing at all. Maybe that's, I don't like reading books either. So maybe it's just the fact of like reading a lot of static text that makes me ill fit to do that. But anyways, so that's kind of the project level perspective where we do use agents and give up our work to agents. But it's still possible to use agents inside your code. So you're still using the same workflow as you do, but you kind of bump it up a tiny abstraction. And that will never be as fast, of course, as you like prompting 5 different projects at the same time, maybe on 5 different branches of like 5 different projects. You like context switching like crazy, and you only operate at a very high abstraction. Maybe that is the future, but this is the opposite. This rather makes you more efficient at working on one thing at a time. Because the reason you parallelize at a higher abstraction is because the agents spend a lot of time working on things, right? So you, at that abstraction, you don't want to sit and wait for an AI that you prompt on a branch on one project and then wait for it. You want to jump to the next one. But the challenge there is like, it doesn't finish everything, right? It always makes mistakes. So you have to jump back in, context switch, and read everything again. There's a cost to that as well. Anyways, I'm rambling too much. I didn't prepare anything here, so you'll have to excuse me. So CodeSpark. What I was looking at, like I've never used an inline agent before. And the way I understand them is that that's kind of where it started. So if you think about when AI came around, in your IDE, you will get these smarter auto-suggestions. That's kind of where it started. And then we kind of jumped over to the project level, and we started using agents there instead. And inline in your IDEs, there are very custom solutions for AI. It's not like an actual agent harness. It isn't Claude code running inline in IDEs. And I was thinking, okay, what would happen if we take the actual agent harness that we use at the project level outside of our IDEs and put that in the cursor? So basically think of it as putting Claude code or at your cursor kind of thing. Or in this case, it's actually PyDev because Claude code is way too slow as a harness. And yeah, maybe I can read some of it. So the point is you don't need to own every keystroke. Like we want to use AI to go to a higher abstraction of coding, right? But the question is, do we want to go as high as an abstraction where we don't know what we code anymore? So the thing is that you need to own the expression of your intent, right? So you have an intent to make a change to the project, and you need to own the expression of that, like the code changes and how the project changes and all of that. And that happens at the file level where you're closest to the code. It's not, you can't own a prompt, right? Like the expression of your intent is like a prompt, and then everything else is up to the agent. But in this case, your expression needs to be lower level. That's my point. So CodeSpark is a full-fledged coding agent, but it works from your cursor, not from a separate prompt window. Instead of manually navigating files and typing out changes, you describe what should happen in natural language. So this is kind of the idea I had to begin with AI, is that you actually... I even had this project where I tried to use an agent as a language compiler. So you kind of had this new type of file extension that you would kind of write your code in natural language, and it would compile down to whatever target language you had. So you would kind of have an agent under the hood working on it, but it was like way too slow. But I think it makes a lot of sense that instead of like writing function, const, like all the language syntax, you use natural language to describe it, but it needs to be freaking fast, right? And that doesn't mean you don't use project level agents like Claude Code or whatever. They are super powerful, but you want to use them for mundane tasks like refactors, boilerplate, and scaffolding and stuff like that. Maybe not even that. Maybe you don't even want them. That's kind of where I'm at now. I don't really want them. But I want to take what we learned from them and integrate it into more of an engineering workflow. Anyways, so I'm gonna try to demo this. Hopefully it's working. But what to take notice of here is that the way you think about the project level agent is that it doesn't have any context at all when it starts, and it always has to like go wide and collect a lot of context from your project and then act on it, which is fantastic. Like they're super good at that. But when you're at your cursor, you already have a lot of context. You know where in the code you are, you know which file you're in. And what I'm taking advantage of here, learning from actual project agents like Claude Code and so on, is that we're using the related Claude MD or Agent MD. We're taking into account any resources they are referencing to. And all of this is actually brought into the context. And then on the right side, you still have this conversational part of it, but it can't do anything. It can only research for you. It can't act for you, but it's brought into the context. So your cursor has all the context I just mentioned, but it also has the context of whatever research you did in the project. But the cool thing is that if it needs to go wider, it can still do that. So we're just narrowing the initial context and let it go wide, kind of like a bottom-up kind of thing, instead of like a top-down with absolutely no context and have to retrieve everything. There was another thing I wanted to mention. What was that? I forgot. Yeah, I forgot, sorry. Let's see. Oh, I lost my... There we are. I got... Yeah, CAI 7. Oh, yeah. I haven't tried... I did read about... Or I heard about Carpathia and this new thing, but I never got a chance to actually look into it. I should do that, definitely. Because he's all about education as well, right? And I think that's my main point here, is that I often think about like the Egyptian culture, the old one, and how a lot of technology got lost. And I wonder if something's gonna happen here as well. Like we're going to forget how to do things because we're gonna stop doing things. But anyways, what was I gonna do? Oh, I wanted to... Oh, now I forgot how to do it. Overlays. Yeah, sorry. I'll have to just jump in whenever I can. Or can I do... Oh, okay. I can do this. Sorry. Anyways, so... But this agent on the right side is designed for you to do actions. So for example, any commands it suggests, you can just click them and run them. But at the end of the day, you are the one that in like detail do the thing. It's just that you don't do every keystroke. So it's about like how to make that flow as efficient as possible. So you kind of feel like your thinking goes straight into action. Yes. Anyways, yeah, I had another point here. Maybe I'll get back to it. Let's see if we can play around with this. So I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna... Oh, I don't even have a dev folder here. Oh. Test project. Let's open that. Development. Can I move this? No, that sucks. Yes, I trust this folder. And what I would typically do when I start a new project, I would just use a project level. I'm gonna use the term, oh, my head is on the... Okay, hopefully we'll do fine here. I didn't consider this. Me being in the way of the the thing. Anyways, so what I would typically do, I would just tell an agent to like go and set up a Vite project with TypeScript, React, and Tailwind CSS, for example. And I haven't actually tested any of this. So, and there's probably bugs in this thing. Oh, yeah, Obsidian is super cool to link the themes together. Yeah. Yeah, but I think like when it comes to debugging, agents are amazing. Right? Because that's maybe one of the slowest things that we do is debug issues. And that's the kind of thing where I think agents are really, really good. And you don't give up. You don't give up anything, or at least you don't give up things to the same extent. Because when you're debugging, it just finds a problem. And then what happens then? Does it also fix the problem? Do you even look at the problem? Do you even understand the problem? Do you understand the fix? Do you have any, like, because the human experience needs to interact with the world to actually store information. Like, you can't just read something and then it's like in your head. If you read something, do something, like actually use your hands, even though it's typing on a keyboard, that information is stored much better, right? It's enforced. But if all we're gonna do is just sit there and prompt agents and read, we're not gonna learn anything. And that's my biggest worry. And then the question is, do we need to learn anything? Like, we don't know the binary code that's put into the computer, right? Do you care? No, you don't. But that's the question. Is that what we're doing here? Are we stating that the abstraction of coding we do today is something we shouldn't care about? Because that's where we're heading. Yeah, anyways. So what I'm going to do, I want to set up read TypeScript, React, and Tailwind CSS project. And what very often happens when I prompt an agent to do this is that it just sets it up based on its training data. It doesn't actually go and figure out how to do it, right? But this, like, sidekick or whatever you want to call it, this research, it's more, instead of a planner, it's a researcher. It actually goes and tells you how to set it up. And even though you don't write everything, just the act of executing it. For example, hopefully this worked. So create a project. Let's see. Oh, that didn't actually work. Oh, I don't have Node installed. Sorry. Let me install Node. That's my bad. I don't know Node. Yeah, let's do this one. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh. Whatever, agree. Okay, what about now? Fantastic. And then this one. And then install. Yeah, let's look at the Node version, npm version. Okay, fantastic. Let's try now. Yes. Install with npm and start now. Yes. Oh, it created a folder. Isn't that typical? I can just move it. Cool. Let me just move this stuff. And then we need, and this is also the point. Like, if you just scaffold it, I wouldn't know I wouldn't know about the config, the Vite config. I wouldn't know about things. I would just, I don't know. And one thing is like being a senior engineer, I have a lot of knowledge of like setting up projects and stuff. But for new people that doesn't have that, how do they even know that without knowing what it's like? I don't know. I don't want this to be like a rant about my pendulum swing, being concerned about giving up everything to agents. But yeah, maybe I should rather just focus on this thing. Okay, so let's go and install Tailwind CSS. And then we need to update our Vite config. Okay. And then we need add Tailwind. Oh, sorry. To the index. And this is kind of what I mean is like, what was I gonna say? Is that it's designed to make it quick for you to do the things, like you copy and you go to the file and all that stuff, but you have to actively make the change. That's the whole point. Let's see if it's running. It looks a bit weird, but we can update that to the default thing here. And look at that. So the whole point of doing this process is that I learned something about how the project was actually scaffolded. And you can argue that, yeah, if I use an agent, I could also like go in and review what it did. But that's the problem, at least for me. I hate reviewing other people's work. I just can't. Yeah, it's just I don't find, and of course I do it professionally. There's a lot of things I don't find fun to do that I do professionally. But the point is that I need to have fun as well, or I can't do any work. And this is fun to me, to like actually do something. So anyways, we have this set up now, and what we could try to do now is maybe we could try to create something. So I can show you how I would like make a change here, like make this a counter example. So that's how it looks. But the point now is, if I were to actually work in a code base, I would reflect on how the code was actually generated. So there are a few things here I don't like. I don't like that it exports default. I don't like that we're inlining click handlers, for example. I might even go as far to say that, no, this is an application component. This is not a UI component. So it shouldn't actually have any styling. We should build up our own like custom components and kind of get into that like architecture mindset. So we can try to do that, where I'm gonna make this components instead, and then I'm gonna say rather export the app instead of default. Oh, well, it did. But what I want to do instead is that I want to tell it how to work with components. Because one thing is having a lot of existing files, like an existing project where the agent can learn from everything and kind of follow the conventions of the code base. But if you're starting something new, you have to go in and enforce those patterns and that style immediately. And this is something that like the project level agents do by using either skills or using the agent MD file. So I'm gonna use, I think I can use agent MD. And I'm gonna say, do not export components using default. only export component. Only export. How do you express this? Do not use default export. Export the name component. Oh. Let's see. Their full names. Do not use variables, but export functions. Normal, but export normal function definitions. Okay, this makes refactoring more import. Should use name syntax, yes. One primary component, that's great. Yes, that's good. Yes, naming is nice. Only use type, not interface. It's just a preference I have. Oh. Yeah, we should write that down here. Use type, not interface. Right. And also part of this is not having this like, what's it called? This approval thing all the time. You just go in YOLO mode. That's also something we've learned from a project level agent. It's like just YOLO it. Don't have this like permission model. And that's of course safer here because you're narrowing the scope, but having this approval on everything doesn't make any sense. It just breaks the flow. Okay, but this is a nice thing. And then if I go in here now, you can see that it got a highlight, the agent.md file. And that's because this is now in context. So adjust to conventions. So now it made some changes here. And then I'm gonna add a new convention, which is and a convention about lifting event handlers. Do not inline them. Define handlers as name functions. Give an example. Exactly. And then I can say, and the point is that I'm doing the heavy lifting now. I'm immediately on a new project. I'm defining how I want this code to actually be written so that I can build my mental model. And let's see, I'm just gonna please lift the event handlers. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess that's nice. And then what should we do? Maybe we can try to split it into UI components. Like this is trivial stuff, but the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm actually building my own personal context about how this project is going to be structured, how the code is going to be written. And as I'm doing that, I'm building up these agent files that documents everything I've been reasoning about. And if I ever go to like a project level agent and do like broader changes, it's going to bring that into context as well. So this is what I feel. Yeah, that's the thing I wanted to talk about. So existing inline agents, they don't use an actual agent harness. They like they create like embeddings out of the code, and they're super, super complex in the sense that they want to be as fast as possible. But what this project is doing is just using a plain agent harness that operates just like your project level harness. It's just optimized for pre-building context based on your cursor position, which is why it's fast at making like simple changes, but it can always like broaden out, and it feels like if you prompted like Claude Code at the project level. But yeah, let's do like UI components. And then I want to have an agentmd file in here as well. And what I want to do is I want to start thinking about some. So we need a button and a title and text maybe, and stack and container, something like that. Let's do button. Yeah, and I also want, let's see, let's create a new context here. Please create a nice style guide for me based on Tailwind CSS. So instead of just using Tailwind CSS out of the box, I'm going to create a style guide for how it's going to look. And I'm just simplifying it now by saying nice. But I'm going to add that to my UI components instructions. And then we're going to try to create some UI components. Yeah, and by the way, Pi doesn't have subagents by default. So this agent mode on the cursor is very simple. It just has a read and write and edit tool. It doesn't have bash. And the agent that runs here has a very simple concept of what's it called? A very simple concept of subagents. So these are like subagents that can run in parallel. Oh, this is nice. Font weights. The design token, since we're using Tailwind v4, we can define custom design. That's nice. And then the color system, this is something I would want in my okay, let's try this. So I want that. And then the color system I want to have here. So I should be able to say add the color system here. Oh, I don't really have a nice loading indicator for empty files. Usage patterns. Yeah, I should probably typography, component classes. Interesting. And then spacing. Oh, look at that. It even has a button for me. Oh, it's even, that's interesting. It's creating all the components for me. Cool. But I want to have, I also want to have, please add, what was it? That was the color system. Please add typography system here as well. And then, oh, and we have a spacing system. Yeah, here we have topography system. and add the spacing system. Okay, cool. So let's try adding a button here. Oh, I don't have the React types. npm install types React DOM. Wait, don't I have? How do we do that? How do I just install Node, but it is not available. And I open a new terminal. So yeah, we're not gonna like build like an application here, and we're not yeah. So the point is not like what we're building; it's how we're building it. And I've spent like much more time now than like single prompting Claude Code and just set this thing up. But again, like if I did that with Claude Code, I would still have to like reprompt it a lot to adjust it. But I would not have been conscious about creating these agent files. I would probably not care about, and this is also a tension. It's like if you have an idea for something, you just want to check out the idea. You don't care about this stuff. And this is also something I'm thinking about. This like, okay, I am asking it how to fix the problem. I'm not making it do it, right? So I'm actually learning something about how to make Node work, as opposed to it magically just starts working. Can I? Oh yeah, now it's, oh, that's something I need to fix. So if there's like a busy shell, we should create a new one. If it shows, if it shows bash. Oh, yeah, I guess this works, but how do I make it? So I did install MVM. When I start a new terminal, there is no node. Or did I have that terminal before? Yeah. And then we want to first check. Yeah, but this works, but oh, it still doesn't work. Oh, sorry. And then we're gonna run that. And then we're gonna source it. And then we have node. Cool. So what did it add? MVM directory. Okay. Cool. Do we have our button here? Oh, dark mode. mobile first approach. I don't want to. Yeah, and this is also nice. Like, typically it always adds mobile first. I don't care about mobile first. Yeah, I don't care about dark mode for now. And not responsive. Yeah, let's forget about that. But it's nice to be able to like make those decisions separately. And I guess that's also how the agent trend is going, is like we're seeing that instead of you telling what the agent to do, the agent should ask you what to do. So you could have like a Claude Code experience where it doesn't really just go off and do things. So instead of having like planning mode, let me just install types react DOM. So instead of having planning mode, you kind of have clarify mode, or like assistant mode, where it doesn't make assumptions. It always asks you what it should do. Restart TypeScript server. Oh, why aren't these? Huh. Why is this type error happening? Because of the verbatim module syntax compiler option. Oh, I have to make it. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so that's something we can add as well. Then we have props and types. I'm thinking this should be more of a general purpose thing. So we can have an agent file. Please describe when importing modules that we import types with the type keyword, with a type kind of import. Yeah, I need to fix, like, if it's an empty file, there's absolutely no indication that it's doing something. Cool. So when we look at, for example, the button now. Oh, interesting. Why isn't it indicating? That's also a bug. It's not indicating the... It should indicate both the agent files. For some reason, it doesn't do that. Oh, sorry. I have to actually prompt it. There we go. So you can see that it picks up both of them now. Anyways. What else did we want from... Oh, here it says how to install fonts and stuff. Yeah, I wonder if I want to have... what I noticed now is that I wanted to keep this context. And I wanted to, like... Because I got distracted, right? And now we have all of this stuff kind of squeezed together. I'm going to make some notes here. Let's see. What did we talk about? Yeah, empty files has no loading indication. Research, be able to have multiple research contexts. Yeah, let's drop the fonts and stuff. Okay, cool. So we have our button here, and what I wanted to show you is that I can say UI components. Use UI components from, use UI components, and then I'm gonna reference the UI components to compose UI when possible. So what this does is that when I go in here and I, for example, prompt it, what you see now is that it has an indicator of like a hollow sparkle, and that means that it actually has a reference to UI components, but it doesn't load all the files. It just has a reference to the folder, but it knows what files are in the folder. So if I say replace buttons with UI components, it would go in and it would know about the button thing, and it goes in and imports it and uses it, and also takes into account like all the other things. Okay, cool. So I don't know what I wanted to achieve with this stream. I just wanted to try to like, I like to put myself unprepared out there to see if I can like defend my views. Like everything that's going on inside my head, does it like naturally flow when I start explaining myself? And when I build these projects, do they like feel supernatural to use? I did learn a few things here that kind of broke my flow. Oh, what's happening there? Oh, that was nothing. Oh, there was something. Oh, look at that. That's a bug. The user prompts are overlapping the input prompt. Cool. What else did I learn? Yeah, so I'm actually using this for work today, which is going to be interesting. I haven't tried this version with the research sidekick. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just want to have something that still makes me feel like an engineer and a builder. And this makes me still feel like an engineer and a builder. As opposed to when I just used the Claude Code CLI, I'm an orchestrator, I'm a manager. And what I also notice is that when I use the CLI, I'm frustrated because I'm not able to convey my intent, or the model isn't smart enough to understand my intent. So it's much more of a frustration-driven thing, as opposed to here, everything's on me. Like the agent isn't dumb, it's me that's dumb. So it's not frustrating, because I'm making all the decision and making all the changes anyways. And whenever I see something generated that isn't to my liking, I immediately go and fix it and make sure that it doesn't happen again. But and it's also like small pieces of information. It's not like 20 files that was changed. And the only way for me to get that context into my head is to read it. And that's not how you build context. You have to do. You have to act. You have to click something. You have to type something to learn. It's the same at school, right? Imagine math. Just being a teacher telling you how math works. You have to sit down and you have to write the numbers. You have to write the symbols, right? To learn. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's enough for now. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on the next one. Maybe we could try to like figure out a nice project. I also want to go like external here. So maybe we could like attach like Supabase or something, and then yeah, maybe we could attach Supabase and just try to build something and see how we approach it. And this is also a thing. It's like these agents, they're based on training data, and they don't really go and check the latest stuff. So very often they install old versions, and so on. Yeah, you're just so much more conscious about every decision that's being made. Anyways, that's it for now. We'll speak more tomorrow, I think. I want to try to do some streams on this and kind of just get to the end of to like a conclusion of how this feels like. Yeah, cool.